If you're an avid F1 fan, you probably know that Mick Schumacher, who competes for Haas, is the son of the famous former F1 driver Michael Schumacher. Mick has captivated fans through his talent, but also for the fact that he's Michael Schumacher's son. People are curious to know how far Mick's entry into the racing world was inspired by his father. Stay tuned to learn what Mick has to say about this. First up, here's Michael's advice to his son. In conversation with Mundo Deportivo, a leading Spanish sports newspaper, Mick reveals that his father was very supportive of his interest in karting. Growing up seeing his father's career, it's not a surprise that Mick was drawn to it, but Mick reveals he never felt any pressure as his father always gave him some golden advice, to simply do what you love. It just so happened that what he loved was racing. He reminisces about the good times he had with his father, learning about the sport from the legend himself. Mick also says he appreciates how his father took him to major events and spent so much time at home explaining and analyzing the sport. Sounds like the father-son certainly bonded over their shared passion. Now for pressure on Mick to take up racing. It wouldn't be surprising if we found out that growing up as the son of the F1 icon, Mick felt some pressure to follow in his dad's footsteps. But Mick reveals that his father urged him to explore different paths and find what was best for him. Fortunately for the F1 world, that was the same sport his father made his name in. He says he feels proud that he is the son of the best driver in the world and that it motivates him consistently to push himself to be better. Mick says he looks up to his father and wants to work towards the goal of being a world champion just like him. Let's look at comparisons being made between the father-son duo. We all know how high pressure the races can be and what close scrutiny each driver is under. Now imagine the pressure on Mick, who carries the added title of being Michael Schumacher's son. In fact, when Mick entered the F1 world with a disappointing debut season, the F1 fan base was quick to draw comparisons and even dismiss Mick, saying he didn't stand a chance to shine in the face of his father's legacy. Yet, Mick says he enjoys and welcomes these comparisons. Talk about being a good sport. He says he wants to be world champion. His father has 7 world titles, by the way, and commends his old man's achievements in the racing world. He says that growing up, he saw firsthand that nothing came easy for his father. He had to work really hard to make his mark on the racing world, and that he himself is never going to shy away from doing just that. Mick says he has seen the hard work that goes into all the titles and the victories, and that appreciation for the sport since an early age motivates him. No one likes being excessively compared to their parents, especially if their parents are literal legends in a sport you're trying to be world champion in. But Mick puts on a real brave face when it comes to these comparisons, going as far as to say that he enjoys the comparisons with his dad and likes to think they're actually very similar. We've got to applaud that glass half full attitude, Mick. Let's learn more about the father-son relationship. Although we see Mick speak about his father with so much love and respect, we can't help but recall how Mick shied away from using his father's name early on in his career. Yes, he literally used his mother's maiden name, going as Mick Betch in his early karting days. The German racer wanted to make his mark on his terms and under his own name, a name that wasn't tied to his father. Well, it's not difficult to understand why he did that. There is a common consensus in the sporting world that children of sporting legends almost never live up to the success of their parents, and that's a lot of negative energy to enter the world of competitive racing with. Mick has been open about how much he's learned from his father, saying that he is a major reason for his growing passion for motorsport. Well, no shocker there. He points out how similar he is to his dad, saying that he learned important lessons from him, like how important it is to have a close relationship with your mechanics and engineers as a driver. In the Netflix documentary, Schumacher, yes, Michael Schumacher is a legend and there is a documentary about it. Mick talks about the love he has for his father. He talks about what a presence Michael has when he walks into a room and how their connection is so special because they speak the same language, the language of motorsport. We love seeing how Mick looks up to his dad, who he calls his hero. In fact, Mick chooses to honor his father's racing career, picking the race number 47 to signify 47, a reference to his father's 7 championships. Up next, where is Michael Schumacher now? Seeing how close Mick has been to his father growing up and the deep love and admiration he has for him, we can't even imagine how painful it is for Mick that his father doesn't get to see him kick off his racing career. Unfortunately, the F1 star Schumacher has been in a medically induced coma since a skiing accident in 2013 after suffering a severe brain injury. Arguably the best Formula One driver of all time lost the chance to see his son's career take off with this tragic accident and now lives a quiet life with his wife in Switzerland. The Schumachers have kept a very low profile since Michael's accident. In the documentary Schumacher, Mick reflects on how painful it is to not be able to share this journey with his father. He says he can't help but imagine all the time what his father would think and says he would give up everything just to know that. Schumacher's wife Karina believes that she is honoring the wishes of her husband exactly the way he wants. She says that his whole career he protected his family and now it's their turn learn to protect him. The Schumachers are a close-knit and sentimental family, and it breaks our heart to see that Michael is unable to enjoy the success of his son. But if there's anything we've learned about Mick so far, is that he's going to honor his dad every chance he gets. Isn't that right, number 47? In other news, up next, let's see what Mick's performance has been like. Now enough about the father-son relationship. Let's get an update on Mick's performance. Although the 23-year-old got off to a rocky start that drew in a lot of haters, we see him picking up this season where he's driving for Haas. He scored for the first time with an 8th place finish at Silverstone and came 6th at the Austrian GP. Way to go, Mick. Mick can be found on the 15th ranking in the F1 driver standings. His Haas teammate Kevin Magnussen taking the lead in the 11th position. Coming up, where will Mick be next year? Even though he drives for Haas, Mick's future is a bit up in the air, as it's not certain what seat he'll have in the year to come. Mick is in good form, and that may grant him another year at Haas, but he does face competition from other drivers like Alfa Romeo Antonio Giovinazzi and Daniel Ricciardo. He may not even renew his contract with the Ferrari Drivers Academy. Regardless, we think Mick has a promising future ahead, and the star power he draws by virtue of being Michael Schumacher's son certainly guarantees that fans of the Formula One world will be watching his every move. Moving on, let's think about what happened at Sunday's race. Following the Dutch Grand Prix is as exciting as ever, and there was lots to take in on Sunday. Our very own Mick Schumacher was slowed down unnecessarily by an unfortunately slow pit stop. Team principal Steiner said that the front jack was stuck, and that is a very rare occurrence. Too bad for Schumacher. We bet he's cursing his luck, but he still finished at 13th. At the Grand Dutch Prix, we also saw an aggressive side to F1 icon Lewis Hamilton, where he blasted his team as he missed out on a win. He went on an angry tirade about his team's strategy over the team radio, much to the disappointment of fans. Hamilton has chosen to offer a really defensive apology, saying he's sorry, but that he won't apologize for his passion. Okay then, we just want you to apologize for swearing at your whole team. Well folks, that's a wrap for this video. Let us know what you think about Mick Schumacher's recollections about his legendary father, and how you think being Michael's son might impact Mick's experience in the F1 world. Be sure to give this video a thumbs up and share your thoughts in the comments below. Don't forget to subscribe if you enjoyed this video, and make sure you stay tuned for more. Thanks so much for watching. See you next time.